What was an cinema experience you'll never forget? I went to go see the cinema classic Snakes on a Plane when it first came out, and there was a scene when some character said to a little girl, "Guess who's on this plane today?" To which someone in the audience just screamed snakes. Had the whole theater dying lol. Still have no idea if that's a graphic horror movie or a comedy based on the name. First off, I'm old. I saw the first original Star Wars at its premiere in a theater in Toronto. When the Death Star got blown up, people stood up and screamed and cheered. In all my life, since I've never seen that happen at a movie, the ushers and other staff were wearing big buttons that said "May the Force be with you." I offered an usher $20, $88 in today's money, for his, but he refused. Wish I had that button today. Close bracket. I remember seeing Empire the first weekend it came out. My brother and I saved our paper route money and got into the first showing on Saturday afternoon. When Vader said he was Luke's father, the whole theater just gasped. The guy couple rows behind us said "No fucking way." Walking out of the theater was probably the best part. Seeing people in line for the next show. Knowing what they were in for. Knowing we couldn't spoil it for them. Right? Question mark? Walking out of the theater was almost the best part. Seeing them see the looks on our faces. Knowing their minds were going to be blown. Edited to say, I've seen every Star Wars movie in the theater since the first one. Close bracket. Two people behind me pulled big aluminum pans of spaghetti out of their purse and started eating it during the movie. Interstellar. Just thought it was an ambitious and incredible movie overall. The most striking part being when McConaughey's character leaves Earth knowing his young daughter, flying for only a little while, then seeing the message of her as an adult. Time dilation can be a bitch. I saw Interstellar with my grandfather. W. Harlot made his career solving astrophysical equity. His reaction to the black hole was so incredible to see. Driving home he was doing his best to help me understand his thinking that went into the film and the math alone. 1. It was really cool for me to see him be so passionate about his career. This is something I have seen mentioned before. That the depicted black hole was something like the most accurate ever done. I know so much really hard work went into making the film as real to the possibilities as possible. I just wish I had a frame of reference to be able to understand what I was seeing. Visually it was a stunning movie. I can only imagine what it must have felt like to see the physical manifestation of the theoretical work you have been doing your whole life. Especially in a context where one might assume they will never get to see the fruits of their intellectual labor. Jurassic Park when the T-Rex breaks through the fence. Still the best film experience I've ever had at the cinema. My 5th grade teacher used to take small groups of us on after school trips. As a treat. I think we needed money for food. Extras. But the main event was totally on her. My small group got to go see Jurassic Park. From the scene with the water glass in the Jeep, all the way to the raptors in the kitchen. We were on the edge of our seats. It's still, 28 years later, one of my favorite memories and favorite movies. Miss Salomon, wherever you are, you were an awesome teacher. Still mad my kids can't have you as a teacher. When the reclining seats in movie theaters first became a thing, I saw this family bring pillows and blankets into the theater. It was wild. Revenge of the Sith. Anakin gets the Vader mask lowered onto his face. It's the quietest I've ever heard. Not heard? A theater B. The first ragged breath of the ventilator sent goosebumps. Another was Infinity War. When I don't feel so good and Spider-Man dusted. Someone yelled "Oh hell no. That's some bullshit." Apostrophe. Honestly Mad Maximum Fury Road was the most incredible movie experience I've had. Seeing the absolutely stunning visuals on the big screen was unforgettable. What a day. What a lovely day. The entire theater practically cheering when Cap lifts Thor's hammer was pretty amazing. I saw a Harry Potter premiere while on vacation with my family. A couple of people were dressed up, but this one guy wore a bloated golden vest and a saggy white collared shirt. It was only when the guy dressed as Harry Potter started chasing him before the movie started did he realize he was the snitch. Went to watch Interstellar AMD at the end of the movie. Everyone, almost 400 people, in the theater stood up and applauded. Being an Nolan fan, it was something amazing. Interstellar is one of my top movies. I first saw it in an IMAX theater on psychedelics and am pretty sure the black hole scene sucked me into the next dimension alongside Matthew McConaughey. My youngest is an aspiring filmmaker. When she was 16 she entered a short film in a local festival. I had seen a final cut on a laptop and honestly I was a little underwhelmed. I gave her a "Oh honey that's great" parent compliment. Fast forward to the actual screening. Oh wow, what a difference seeing it on a big screen. When the credits hit it got the biggest applause of the night. I was in absolute tears. She's had other films since then, but the experience of seeing her name, after written and directed by, on the big screen for the first time is something I will cherish for the rest of my life. Watching Coco, I cried the entire movie, so much that I had a headache and my eyes were puffy lol. It touched my heart and brought back many memories of my happy times with my family in Mexico. Nobody talks about how this movie makes grown people bawl like babies. Glad I watched it at home, so I could lie and say I didn't sob like crazy. Dunkirk. Edge of your seat didn't have meaning to me until that film. I felt like I held my breath for maybe 30 minutes during the entire film. In an IMAX with that insane speaker setup, it was clear that the score was the star of the film. I felt the same about 1917. Both were such amazing cinematic experiences. I don't really like war movies at all, but 1917 was so amazing. I felt so connected to the two characters and plot, it's crazy. 28 days later, the theater had the volume cranked so loud that the scene where Jim bumps the car alarm made my soul leave my body. Further back, Pokémon, the first movie. As the lights dimmed, some nerds in the back mailed a Team Rocket impression. Went to go see some kids movie when I was a kid and some man just up and yells, "Fuck you!" Exclamation mark. Before the movie started. Made me feel really uncomfortable the rest of the movie, like some fight was gonna go down. It was 1994. First time in a theater with THX surround sound. Star Trek Generations. First off, the Enterprise B scene for the first time. Then the ribbon. Kirk's death. Then the HD Enterprise D. Data cutting. Then the saucer section crash. Oh man, the crash. Hearing some panel fall off to my right, while a panel blows to the back left. The deep rumble that made your innards quake as the ship slid along the planet's surface, mowing down everything in its path. Trees snapping like toothpicks. It was an experience. Went to see the last Harry Potter at midnight in theaters. Theater I went to was having a whole bash. So like probably 300 plus people. Half of us dressed up in costume. I was Hermione. Were at the theater. Notably was a full size, yes, on stilts, Hagrid, a Cedric Diggory. That was me, a spot on. Yes, I got a photo with him. And a couple of really convincing Dementors. The theater had food specials and raffles going on. Imagine the midnight release parties for the books. But finally, for one of the movies, we were let in the theater about an hour before the movie because there was just so many people. All 8 theaters were premiering it. So everyone basically was assigned a theater and told to shuffle in. Was in theater 3, which happened to have the said Hagrid, Dementors, and Cedric in it, among a ton of other characters and general wizard looking people. I don't know how or when, but at some point, while we were waiting, people started dueling in the front of the theater with fake wands. This turned into a spectacle and had a few people go through and fake duel, putting on moves and such. Other people started doing little bits, acting in character and just having fun with everyone in the theater. Mind you, none of us worked there, all just happy, excited fans. Cedric Diggory took a photo with me and my friend I came with, as well as these 3 or so other guys dressed up as wizards that we met and hung out with. These guys sat in front of us during the movie, and I will never forget the scene where Harry is going through Snape's memories. My friend next to me had used up all her tissues and was seriously sniffling. Slowly, one of our new buddies in front of us, W. Harlot, apparently had a box of tissues on his lap, lifts a tissue over and behind his head without even looking. He did this a few more times before my friend quietly whispered, "Thank you." Oh, you. I don't know why, but it was such a sweet moment. And everyone in the theater was crying, including said guys. UIS, and it just warms me thinking about that little gesture. Yup, nothing has come close to this night yet. That atmosphere was incredible. Bleh, surrounded by fellow Harry Potter geeks. Made some new friends. One I believe I'm still friends with on Facebook. Got some hilarious pictures. Enjoyed the company of kind strangers. And just had an awesome experience seeing the last Harry Potter movie, which meant so much to me throughout my childhood. I passed the box of tissues from my car down the road during Titanic. I heard it was sad, so I came prepared. The Room. If you love that movie and ever have the chance to see it in a theater, please do it. It was so much fun. Everyone was quoting along with it, throwing plastic spoons everywhere. One of the most enjoyable experiences of my life. Opening night of 300. Packed theater. Leonidas yells this. It's Sparta, and kicks that guy into the pit. Whole place erupted. It was super wild. I know it's cool to sugar in this movie these days, but seeing Titanic for the first time was unforgettable. The actual shots of the sunken ship, the way it transitioned to the ship intact, the swelling of the music in that moment. It was all very moving. You could feel the chill of the last half of the movie down to your bones, especially once you exited the theater into a cold December night. The whole experience was incredibly powerful. Seeing Schindler's List the first time. The film ended and nobody moved. Nobody talked. Full mall adjacent theater and we all just sat there. Made me wish there was some place we could have gone together to talk about it. It felt like we needed to talk about it. I went to see Suspiria 2018 because a friend asked me to come along. I had no idea what the movie was about going in, so that bit early on where the girl gets twisted up into a pretzel was a pretty big what moment. I don't remember much else about the movie except that I hated it, so I guess that's an experience. On a more positive note, seeing Avatar in 3D was pretty amazing. I sometimes nearly forget because 3D became such a garbage gimmick in its wake, but that movie was an awesome experience. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.